folks. I'm Sergio with zZounds, and today we're sitting down with Jack Gardiner, and we have the Laney LFR-110. Jack, thanks so much for taking the time to come out and talk to us today.
Sergio, thank you so much for having me, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've heard your tales of jet lag and travel, so I appreciate you, being here. And you look sprightly despite all the jet lag.
I'll pay you later, sir. It's one of those. I feel like what planet am I on right now?
Well, hey, you look great. You're sounding great. Would you like to tell us some more about the Laney LFR-110?
Yeah. So today we are showing off the brand new Laney LFR-110. I myself previously have used the 212 cabs. This is the first time I actually saw this, was a couple of days ago. So it was kind of a bit of a shock of how small it is in comparison, but it's super loud. I believe it's 250 watts. We're running my Neural DSP Quad Cortex here at about 25% of the output, and on the back here, it's about halfway in terms of the main output. And what you are hearing, I believe, is the actual mic'd up cab. Is that true?
It's just the microphone today. It's a Sennheiser of MD421. And just have it on the driver right now. It sounds great in there in the control room, and it sounds great in here. And I know that you guys advised to put a mic in front of the speaker just because whilst this is for, guitar modelers and other in-the-box solutions, it seems to me like you guys want this to be heard. This is something for your backline so that you can push some air. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I mean, for a guy like myself, where most of the time when I'm gigging these days, it tends to be in-ear monitors for tracks or click tracks, things like that. I found that I felt a little bit of disconnect every time I play a gig. And one thing coming from tube amps, that was traditionally how I used to gig, feeling that air move, I was sorely missing that every time I play live. I think the first time I used it was in Shibuya in Tokyo 2 years ago now, 2023.
And that's when you first went into the FRFR world?
Yeah, absolutely. They brought two of the 212s for me to try in stereo. And that was like, oh my God, can I have this on every gig now? For me, it's one of them. I like to hear a bit of room sound, and I would often take out just one ear. When you're on a silent stage, a stage monitor doesn't really give you that feeling. I think someone mentioned earlier today, when do you ever play a gig facing the amp the whole time with your ear right there? It's just not a thing, is it?
It's not a thing, not at all.
No.
Very special cases, but not usually.
People get a bit weird.
But it seems like it's a nice portable solution. These are pretty lightweight. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's too much weight going on.
Absolutely. Considering it's wooden as well, it's not plastic. Like, you can easily take this, like QC and guitar, to a gig.
I think you guys just mentioned you walked to our studio about 5 blocks with the rig.
Even with a broken case.
With a broken case. So
Thank you, American Airlines.
I guess that's a testament to the just how portable this thing is.
Big thing, man. And I think the other thing is like how loud it is. I mean, like I say, we're only running at 25, and that's already way too loud for the small, for my ears at least. But personally, I would love to use 2 of these live in stereo. That's just how I usually do things. But I think this is mainly designed for like people who are maybe just entering into the digital world. They've come from tube amps. They're a little bit like, my monitors don't sound great, or I'm missing something live. You plug into one of these, you feel that air push, and you're like, that's home. That's where I used to kind of thing. So for like, I believe the price point is quite cheap on these. If you're just looking for kind of entry level way into there, this would be the perfect solution.
And speaking of entry level, so say you have your modeler at home and you want to start playing with your friends in a band. Is this going to get loud enough for a band rehearsal?
We could always do that later if you fancy. You might need
We're going to get above the drummer with this guy?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so I think that's a great entry point for folks. They want something that at least be heard, because a lot of budget amps these days, 25 watts, 30 watts. It's not going to really be cutting it, especially with non-tube, outputs.
Yeah.
So something like this is going to definitely work.
250 watts.
250 watts. Clean headroom.
I mean, what I love about it as well is like, it's FRFR, of course, but there are two options on the back for Laney's own impulse responses that are built in. I think it's a 1x10 and then a 4x12, I think. Is that right? 112, 412, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's options there if you don't want to use like your own impulse responses and stuff like that. You do have the capability in there. Where was I going with this? My brain is still so jet lagged. I apologize. The clean headroom, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So with this being FRFR, for me, I usually program all of my tones using like a set of studio monitors at home. Oftentimes when I've used FRFR cabs before, they color them in some way or, like they're trying to sound more like a guitar amp. You'll get harsh top ends or you'll feel like it's all squeezed so that the mids are really present. It just doesn't matter. This feels exactly the same as my tones, which I've set up at home. I just trust it. I think the first day we used this, I didn't have to touch any of the settings on the back. It was just like volume, off we go.
Awesome.
No. But if you do want to tweak to a room, you do have the HF filter on the back, and then of course those two impulse responses. Maybe we can hear that later on.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, why don't we take a listen to the cabinet a little bit?
Yeah, man. So far, I've got just like my basic main lead sound, or it's kind of edge of breakup based off of like a AC30 type thing. Okay. Let's check this out.
Yeah.
Super responsive to whatever I'm doing in terms of dynamics. Like if I'm hitting super hard, to the kind of really, volume scoop back, almost clean. Still hear a lot of low end coming through, which I think is the one thing which people miss when they're playing with the in-ears. Kind of sound.
Absolutely. It's a nice full low end, not something you would expect from a 110,
And I mean, we are quite quiet now, but if we were to crank that, you'll feel it.
Absolutely. Maybe another sample here?
Yeah, man. We could try some clean stuff. This is the main clean which I use. It's basically like a Lone Star type thing, but works really well for the kind of funk stuff that I tend to play, but also just chordal-based ideas. Like if we get something like, I don't know, what day is it today?
We'd want to try the 412 or
we can certainly do that.
Give that a shot.
This is just a cabinet bypass, so that's same tone. Kind of weirdly like that, but it's got that 80s, 90s, Dan Huff wannabe kind of thing.
All right, now we have the 412. Let's
hear this then. Like taming some of the top end, it feels like for me.
It seems like there's like kind of I don't know, like a little bit more in the middle.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure. Yeah, which I think that could be super useful if, say, you're playing like a really, a big brick wall venue kind of thing, and the top end's annoying you. It's bouncing all over the place. You could tame that, but still send the exact same tone that you've dialed in here to front of house, maybe.
Absolutely.
So you're not. It's just more for the comfortable nature for yourself, I guess.
Absolutely.
But yeah. Should we try the other cabinet then?
Yes, I believe it is a 112.
Feels slightly smaller.
Yes, yes, it does. But I love that though. Sometimes you just need that, just a 112.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, any last thoughts here, Jack, before we sign off?
I mean, for me, it's one of those things. If you're in the digital world and you do have the option to, bring one of these along with you, for me, it's just about feeling comfortable, feeling like something that you are used to, especially coming from the tube amp world. That's a big thing for me. One other thing to point out is that when you're using like in-ear monitors, you can't get feedback in the same way because there's no interaction between a speaker. With this, if we crank it, you definitely can. I don't know. I don't want to do that to you at the moment, being sat right here. But that is something that I think a lot of guys maybe don't realize.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just that nice, the live feel of like a real amplifier in a live situation.
The interaction.
You can kind of play the amplifier a little bit.
Absolutely. The interaction between pickup and speaker is huge.
Love that.
Yeah. That's one thing I missed when I moved to all digital. It was like, it feels like I'm in the studio, which is cool, but it's not really a gig. Sometimes you want that oomph behind you.
Of course. Yeah. No, I 100% agree. But no, I think you've sold me on the LFR-110. So thank you so much, Jack, for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And of course, you can get the Laney LFR-110 at zZounds. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you next time.
Cheers, guys.